Hi, everyone. This time around I was gonna not give you the opportunity to say anything.
Hello. What do you mean? Say
Hello,
what?
Dr.
I would never
Nick.
say anything.
Yeah, you're right. Damn it. This week on the anime podcast, we watched Hibike Euphonium Season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Season
Last
2.
time we watched Season 1. So, neat.
We did.
So what do we think
what do you guys think?
Spooky thinks of this?
Yeah, what do I think of the show?
I think Spooky thinks it's a 10 out of 10.
Well, didn't Spooky say it was a 9 out of 10 last time, but nearly a 10 out of 10?
Yes.
That was held back by something?
Yes.
I think season 2 is a 10 out of 10 for you.
It's still like a 9.5. It's almost 10.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one where I've like seriously considered giving it a 10. Like I kind of go wishy-washy on it. Because I think the issue with season 1 is that it takes just a little bit too long to pick up. Whereas I think season 2 almost has just a little bit too much in it. So, but
okay.
The part, like, I don't know. There's a lot in it that's, like, super, super, super good, which is why I'm like, am I willing to look past that and just give it a 10 anyway? So, I would still say, like, 9, but it's very on the fence. Mm-hmm. And the more I watch it, it becomes more on the fence, so. So, yeah.
There's a lot of fences.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah, lots of fences. Almost as many fences as characters.
This isn't an anime about fencing, Scaredy. Spooky.
Yeah, I'm scaredy now.
Yeah, Scaredy.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway.
Scooby-Doo.
Can we watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? Because I actually watched that.
Anyway, how about episode summaries? Let's go.
So, okay.
Yeah, dear.
Reminder, we use their instruments instead of names because we don't remember any of their names. There's too many of them.
Even though we messed up who was who.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Silver Euphonium can't continue...
I will correct as we go.
Okay, well... Silver Euphonium can't continue the club, so they have to go to the Nationals without them for some reason. Gold Euphonium, and Not As Good Euphonium are chatting about something that we don't know about that happened in a previous episode.
Wait, I have one request.
You are going so fast.
Yeah, I also have one request. Can we call Gold Euphonium just main character? I think it's a lot more clear.
I think it'd be easier to call it main character.
If we just call main character,
there's a lot of silver and gold in Euphonium.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me replace every single time I say Gold Euphonium.
You just need to, whenever you see it, just say main character instead.
That's not how my brain works, though.
Well, just do whatever. It's fine.
Okay. So Gold Euphonium and Not As Good Euphonium are chatting about something and the plan to get Silver Euphonium back. And the group is chatting about shit that we haven't seen about a mom, and we're thinking that Silver Euphonium is just quitting right before Nationals for some reason. It's weird. Euphonium's sister isn't home when she gets home, and she's very sad about it. Everyone is practicing for Nationals, but the music has Silver Euphonium's handwriting on it. For some reason, it feels like a will. That's not daunting at all. The chick that's leaving, coming back is best for the club. And her coming back is best for the club. Even 2 people come up and say, "Go tell her, bitch," because she's only going to listen to you. They then ask if they really could go to Nationals, and she's just like, eh? And then they go spy on a teacher that's sleeping, and she... by the way, Trumpet still has a total huge crush on Teacher. Here's your key, Teacher. Oh my god, our hands touched. And UFO sees this and thinks, why are you so horny? And then also, please be ready to play by yourself if she doesn't come back. UFO runs into Glass's Silver Euphonium, and they both go for a walk and chat, and they go find out where she lives. Suddenly, there's another girl with the bad trumpet player runs up, and she's like, "Can we walk home together? Here's some steam buns." Winky face leaves. Also, there's a moment of shoe tying, which is like intense as fuck for some goddamn reason. We're back at Silver Euphonium's house, and they chat about things, including her notes and how she's terrible at math. also here, have this book. It's about how to play Euphonium. And there's the bastard that wrote it, and he's my dad. And also my mom is crazy and doesn't want me anywhere near my dad. Also, UFO asked if she hates her mom, because the reality is that she hates her mom, and she's like, it doesn't really matter at this point, because there's nothing I can do about it. Silver UFO has a package from someone when she was a kid, and it was her dad's euphonium, and it all just kind of worked out. And her mom, of course, hated it, so if her grade slipped, she'd have to quit. Also, look at the national competition website. My dad is one of the judges. If he hears me play, it'd be like I'm talking to him or something. Whoa, and then I got greedy about it, and I was a bitch to a bunch of people because of it. UFO tells her she loves how she plays the silver euphonium, and the two of them head out into the summer era where it's aesthetic and mosquitoes, and they play under a bridge, and the anime wind blows, and the atmosphere is perfect, and credits roll over the note from her dad torn in half.
Yes, that's episode 9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, a lot happens. We'll just talk after
Depression.
the summaries. Yeah, I was gonna kind of go into it. Do you want to go into it in between each episode? Or
I was gonna say, do you want to say what happens in episode 11? Because didn't you say you wanted to say what happens?
That's something I definitely want to talk about after. I was gonna talk about stuff that happens prior to this episode with Asuka's mom and her, but we'll just talk about everything after. How about that?
Okay.
Let's do that.
So we open on episode 12. Where everyone's training for nationals. They're at the building with the competition, and everything's coming up Millhouse. They're all like, oh, okay, let's go. Main character sneaks out at night, so in the hotel sort of place, and runs into Trombone, and they get a sody pop from the vending machine and have like a conversation about being worried about comp and such, and that they couldn't sleep. Also, Trombone was like, oh, by the way, I forgot to give you your birthday gift. Here it is. And it's like a small flower hair clip thingy. And there's probably a significance behind it, but I didn't know. And then he's like, hey, why aren't you closer to your older sister, sort of thing. Things are happening. Anyway, the next day, and all the school kids are arriving, and they're like, oh my god, the contrabass, who is definitely a main character, goes through all the schools, and we find out that she's an absolute sort of band competition geek. And they're like, oh my god, let's get ready to perform. The nerves are flying, they're on the side of the stage, and they're like, okay, like, let's do this, let's get the gold, let's go do good. Just as they're about to perform, it fades out, so we don't get to see the performance. But I guess it's fine, because I mean, I'm assuming throughout all the episodes you've heard the song.
Yeah. You see a full 8-minute performance during their not national, but the one before that, like the regional one, I
Sectionals?
guess. So, because there's
Regionals?
3 competitions, there's like whatever. Yeah, it doesn't the prefecture,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. You see the whole performance already.
But they're like, oh my god, yay, good luck to us. They performed, and then they're like sitting down, and then Silver Euphonium is talking to Senior Trumpet, and who was the other girl?
The president?
The president, that's right.
Yeah, she's saxophone.
Obama is there.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are we gonna do now, like, president? And she's like, right now I'm not the president, you're not the vice president. Right now we're gonna go get banana chocolate parfaits. Let's fucking go. And then we cut over to the main character, and she's like, where's my sister? And then oh god, this bit. And then it cuts back. And they're getting the awards time, and they're like, oh, that's right, the conductors get an award first. And then as they're like, this conductor from this school, each school is like saying something, and then they all realize, oh fuck, we didn't organize anything, and the president is on stage right now, so they can't quickly organize anything. What are we gonna do? And then it gets to their school, and then Tsundere Trumpet stands up and just goes, Sensei, I love you. Oh. Everyone's like, thank you saved us. And then she's like, "Oh God, I really just confessed on like at this." And main character's like, "Dude, it's okay. No one thought it was a confession." And then the girl's like, "Do you really think she actually likes him?" Anyway, we cut to the actual performance grading, and it's like, these band got silver, this band got gold. What did they get? Womp womp, bronze. Not even good. Just fucking participation award, essentially. They're standing there getting their photo taken, and Knuckles in the background, and everyone is like, "Oh, we'll do better next year," except, you know, not the third year since they're leaving. Oh well. And then the teacher comes along and is like, "Hey, Euphonium players, I have a note for you from one of the judges who's this big time Euphonium player dude." And he's like, he just wanted to say, thanks for I'm happy you kept it after all these years. I'm still giving you a bronze though, because you play like shit. And he's like, "Do either of you know him?"
Yeah, no. He said, "You sounded beautiful. I'm glad you kept up with it for all these years. Don't listen to Gamb."
Still gave her a bronze though. And it's like, oh my God, her dad was actually a big time Euphonium man all this time.
We knew that already.
That's
Yay.
cute. It's cute. He actually does love her.
Yeah.
And then they're like getting together and like figuring out, well, what are we gonna do now? And now that the 30 years are going, like, you guys have to win gold next year. That's an order. And then main character's like, "Wait a minute, I see my sister leaving." And then she runs after her sister as her sister teleports away constantly. And then she finally catches up to her and is like, "Hey, I love the Euphonium. I love performing. I love band. I love performing. And I love you, because you were in band and played Euphonium. And I love you. And I love it. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Good night." And then the episode ends.
Did you mention when Rena, like, actually confesses?
Oh yeah, also Trumpet actually confesses to the I forgot about this. Sorry, I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. Trumpet actually confesses to the teacher, and the teacher, like, very clearly, like, the way he responds is like I'm glad. I was worried that, like, your students didn't like me.
Yeah, he was like, "That makes me happy to be a teacher," is the exact quote.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, it
fuck.
makes me happy to be a teacher. And it's like, oh, he knows how she feels, and he's known.
And
Yeah.
he ignores.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking loved that reaction. I was like, let's go.
Let's fucking go!
I ain't messing with no kid. Fuck that.
I just really
I ain't no
like
pedophile.
how, like, it's such a cold response, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
man, I don't know.
It's
It
the
works
only
really
one
well
he
with
could
his
give,
character.
though.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, she was in front of, like, her classmates and stuff. Yeah, it was like, really good. Like, hey, I don't really want to hurt you, but I'm kind of gonna do it anyway. Let's go. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this wall has to go up.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, that's
all
the
we
end of the
watched.
episode. And
That's it. They went to finals. That's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely didn't watch anything that Spooky was emotional about.
Or cried at. A little bit.
Yeah. I didn't cry this time, but I cried both other times I watched it.
You were very quiet.
Hmm.
I will say.
I was.
You
I
gonna
love
watch
that
Violet
scene.
Evergarden again.
No. I watched the movie. That hurt me. But anyway.
You mean the scene where she falls on the ice. And what was that sound, Gamb, that she makes on the ice?
Oh yeah, the sound that she makes when she's on the ice? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
That's the sound.
Oh, do you mean this one?
We gotta,
No, that's Tomato Town.
we got a #1 victory
Gamb?
royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down.
Anyway,
Yes?
episode 13.
Okay. Do you remember Boba Fett?
That's how it starts. Good. You remembered. Okay, what happened after that, Gam?
I don't know. You're the one who's meant to be
Yeah.
describing what happened in the fucking episode.
I
I mean, I'll do it if you want.
I'm about to fucking do it.
I was just making a bit out of sound bites. It's fine. Flashback to a bunch of previous episodes. Now we have to figure out who's vice president. It's the girl with the bow. Another worse Euphonium is the vice president now. Cut to Gold Euphonium playing outside doing nothing. And Bo then leads a practice, but it sounds very empty, and she's like, oh god, we need more members. Band teacher talks to another teacher about losing and starting over because that's how teaching works. Main Euphonium's outside the Combini and just chatting with Trumpet. By the way, we see, is it Trumpet? No. Yes, and then there's another Trumpet that walks by.
What?
It's
You mean trombone?
Trombone, yes, and then Trumpet walks by. I don't know instruments. I wasn't in band.
When? Oh no!
Wait, what?
When they're outside the convenience store, it's main Euphonium,
Yeah.
contrabass,
trumpet.
and tuba and trumpet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It's
they
all the
see,
main characters.
And then they see Trombone walking
Trombone
down the street.
guy. Yes.
Yeah.
And they tell UFO to go catch up with him because he. And then they continue to walk and talk together. And next year, here's hoping we have good members. And then, wow, there's Silver Euphonium being like, wow, look at these horny kids. And they talk about them being horny, and main character denies it. And then she has a thought, but Silver Euphonium is leaving to go home, and Gold Euphonium comes home and is sad, but there's a letter from her sister, and she's crying in school at one day and playing, and some people come in and ask, like, wow, we thought it was Silver Euphonium. You sounded just like her. You sounded all... But she's like, I don't know what's different. I'm just all depressed. Oh. Euphonium's letter to her sister basically says, I'm having a great time. Mom is worried about me, but everything's great. I'm gonna win gold at nationals and fucking win. And then they all have a going away party for the seniors. And it's overly silly, and they play some jazz, and we have a final speech to the seniors, and we play a song to send you all off just for you. Trumpet even has a solo for them. Cut to a ton of flashbacks. Cut to more flashbacks of marching band that one time. Flashbacks to all these other things we did. And then, wait, where did Silver Euphonium go? Oh, she left. Also, she was valedictorian, apparently? Which, no, I'm not gonna make that joke, actually. We see all these characters just generally being sad, but it's graduation, and UFO catches up with Silver UFO, and it's very sad. And she used to not like her, and it sucked, and I was like, I actually may have hated you. And she's like, is that what you wanted to tell me? And she's like, no, I love you now. And, like, actually, like, love you. And she's like, oh, okay. Here's my dad's notebook about Euphonium. I'm not gonna say goodbye because it sucks to say goodbye. Goodbye! And it's confusing why this isn't emotional to me as it should be. And now she knows the name of the song. Asuka, aka Silver Euphonium, plays throughout the series. And I have already forgotten the name of it, actually.
The name of the song is Hibike Euphonium.
It's the name of the anime!
Anyway.
Man, part of me wishes we talked about shit in between episodes so we could just end it there.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Man, yeah, I love that ending scene so fucking much. I love the interaction between the two. Because obviously Kumiko says, you know, I never liked you. You, like, put on this mask and never showed anyone who you really were, and you looked down on people, and you said shit like you didn't care about your friends. And she's like, I hated you, actually. And Asuka's like, yeah, I knew that already. And then Kumiko's like, no, you don't, because she was like, I like you now, and I feel lonely without you. And it's just like, fuck. Because, like, obviously Asuka doesn't have the highest self-esteem, and also assumes that she knows everything about people when she doesn't. Very good. It's something you see, like, throughout the series, right? Like, you consistently see through season 1 and season 2 Asuka doing shit like because okay, so when you first meet Asuka, she's like this overly silly, like, oh, haha, I'm like, I know a lot because I'm an upperclassman, and like, I'm silly, and I'm like, friendly, but there's like cracks in that, right? Where you can see, like, that's not what she's actually like. Which when you're watching it from the get-go, you like don't really pick up on it as much, and then it starts to show a little bit more as Kumiko gets to know her. And then Kumiko actually starts making remarks on it. Like, she's like, I can't tell when Asuka's being honest, I can't tell when she has the mask on and when she doesn't. I don't know, like, anything about her. She's like, can say some really harsh things to people. Like, there's like a scene in the middle of this season, because I mentioned there's like, I mean, we went straight to episode 9, we missed the whole first half of the season, which is about 2 characters that you guys didn't get to see development on, like, at all.
Yeah.
But when she's talking about that, she even says, like, you know, this person, Mizore only really cared about Nozomi. She never really cared about Yuko. Like, Yuko was just kind of a temporary replacement for her. And Kumiko is like, I don't know if that's really the case. And Asuka's like, you know, I think people's motives are pretty easy to see, really. And Kumiko's like, ha ha ha, Asuka-senpai, that's like real cynical of you. Maybe you shouldn't say shit like that. And Asuka's like, yeah, whatever. So through the whole thing, like, it's kind of like, why is Asuka like this? You know, like, she has like this mask on. And I think one of the things I love about it is she gets along with Kumiko, who also is wearing a mask for completely different reasons. Because Kumiko is like, kind of not a nice person on the inside, and puts on like this mask like, oh hey, I'm like this good girl, you know.
Yeah.
And Asuka has this mask of like, I am strong, I am funny, I am upperclassman who knows everything, I am like an adult. So you end up finding out that Asuka is like that because her mom's abusive. And it's like, oh, suddenly like everything just makes sense. Right? So she stops showing up to band. And her mom, there's like a scene where Kumiko is walking into like the teacher's, offices, I guess. I don't really know what they're called. And she sees Asuka, who hasn't been showing up to practice, with her mom there, and her mom's saying, Asuka's quitting the band. Here's her resignation form. And Taki-sensei is like, I'm not accepting that. Like, I know that Asuka didn't write that, like, you wrote it on her behalf. I'm not going to accept it unless Asuka says that's what she wants. And her mom's like, but this is what's better for her. I'm her mother. I think I would know what's good for my daughter. I raised her all alone. Like, I make the choices. And Taki-sensei's like, no, unless it comes from her. So her mom, like, kind of calms down a bit and looks at Asuka and goes, okay, Asuka, tell him you're quitting. And Asuka just goes, Mom, I don't want to quit. And before she finishes the sentence, her mom, like, fucking slaps her across the face. To which, obviously, like, Taki-sensei and I think it's, like, the vice principal are there. They're, like, shocked. And her mom is like, are you just playing this instrument to torment me? Like, why do you keep going with it? And Asuka just kind of, like, her mom starts, like, frantically, like, apologizing, like, oh, I'm sorry. She goes to touch her face, and Asuka, like, grabs her hand. So she doesn't. And she, like, just adjusts her glasses, and she's like, I'm not gonna go to practice today. And she's like, come on, mama, let's go. And, like, holds her hand and walks out with her. So that's when you, like, realize, like, oh, shit. And then in episode 9, we get more backstory where, like, her dad is the famous euphonium player. Her mom will not let her see her dad. Her mom obviously doesn't want her to play the euphonium that her dad, like, sent to her. She doesn't want her to have anything to do with her dad. And I mean, like, if we're being real, that's why she wanted Asuka to quit, because if she went to nationals, there was a chance she would see her dad. And I actually really like the results of that too, by the way. I like that she never actually, like there's not, like, this big heartfelt reunion. Because in our reality, they
like
don't
the
know
big
each
scene
other.
where she goes and hugs him and
exactly.
is crying.
Exactly. They don't really know each other. She just wanted him to hear her playing because she loves the euphonium. And I really like that. Like, I like the conclusion of that. Like, she's happy that he got to hear her, and that's, like, good for now, you know? And I mean, obviously, if she would have reconnected with him, it would have caused more issues with her home life. whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. Asuka's just like this really good character where like you go back and you realize that a lot of the moments where she's cold is because she's like envious of people, right? Like she said it in this, like everyone was here like having a good time, having fun. I wasn't here for that. She's like, I would have been happy just playing on my own. I don't give a shit about nationals or anything, but I wanted my dad to be able to hear me. And so all of these moments, it's like envy. Like she wants the life that these other people have, and she doesn't have that. And it's like, fuck. It's good shit, you know?
Good shit.
Yeah, really good shit. So anyway, I want to talk about episode 11. We didn't get to watch episode 11. It wouldn't have made any sense to show you guys episode 11, despite it being containing one of my favorite moments of the series. Episode 11 is an entire episode about Reina and Taki-sensei. And how they, like, knew each other. I mean, that's the bulk. There's more to the episode, but that's, like, the bulk of it, right? Like, basically, like, Reina, from a young age is, like, taking up, like, music, whatever, because her dad's a famous trumpet player, and Taki-sensei is the son of a famous composer. So she goes home one day and she sees Taki-sensei in her house. He like played trombone, and she's like, "Oh,
that's right."
She's like, you know, little kid, and she's like, "Whoa, who is this guy?" You know. And then as she gets older, like he's still like coming around her house because of her dad and stuff. And he like helps her learn trumpet, and he encourages her, and he's like, "You're gonna like you can be really good one day. Like here's this piece. I want you to be able to play this piece." And it's like a song that you also hear her playing sometimes throughout the series. And, like, she just kind of, like, gradually fell for him. And then at some point she, like, he stopped, like, coming over. She stopped seeing him as much. The timeline there's a little, like, iffy. But she finds out Taki-sensei had a wife. She sees, like, a picture on his desk in the episode that we watched where they return the keys. And she asks one of the advising... There's, like, 2 teachers that are just there to help them, like, to get to nationals that Taki-sensei knows. And she asks one of them, like, hey... sorry, hiccuped. Hey, who is the girl in the picture on his desk? And he says, oh, Kumiko told you? Because he had accidentally let it slip to Kumiko that was, like, Taki-sensei's now deceased wife. Okay. So he's basically like, oh, she told you he was married. And so, fuck.
Well.
Yeah, it leads to this scene, because Reina is, like, obviously, like, mad at Kumiko for something, and they end up going... Do you remember in season 1, during the festival, where they go up on the mountain, and it's the time where Reina says, you know, you have a terrible personality underneath that goody two-shoes mask of yours, I want to peel that mask off? They go up to that same mountain, and... She screams over the edge, and she's, like, super mad, and she's like, why didn't you tell me that Taki-sensei had a wife? And Kumiko's like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't want to upset you, whatever. And Reina's like, I would have wanted you to tell me. And there's, like, this whole big thing, like, Reina had a whole big thing where she was like, I didn't realize how weak I was, like, this is so stupid, I shouldn't be upset about this. But, you know, I wanted to talk to you, and, like, get the shit off my chest now. And as she's, like, upset about this whole thing, Kumiko just kind of fucking deadpan, like, walks over to her and, like, puts her hand on hers. And she says, you might think I'm awful for saying this, but he doesn't have a wife anymore. And I was like, what the fuck?
Fucking hell.
And Reina looks at her and like starts fucking crying, and Kumiko just says, I'm rooting for you. And it's just like,
oh my
wow. God. So it's like this, the place where they were, where Reina was like, you're this awful person on the inside, I want to see more of that, is the same place in season 2, where she says the fucking line, he doesn't have a wife anymore. And it's just like, my God. It's like such a good moment. It's like, wow, yeah, Kumiko is like really fucking cold sometimes, huh? Really good shit. Reina ends up like asking Taki-sensei about his wife, like what kind of person she was and stuff. And it's basically revealed, like, he wants to get gold not only because he wants to get gold, but because his wife went to the school and she wanted to get gold. Like, she wanted the job he has. So Reina goes to his wife's grave and tells her that she's going to win gold for her. Then they don't. Rip.
Oh, then they don't. Womp womp.
But yeah, dude, the line, he doesn't have a wife anymore, like, I think of that line all the time. Like, that is so fucking cold. Jesus Christ, I love it. So yeah, that was like, it's like a real big insight into Kumiko's character, and it's just kind of like, wow, okay. Like, because she says, like, shitty things throughout, and she thinks shitty things throughout. But it's just like, that's like a moment where you just kind of realize, like, how true it is, you know what I mean? She has so many good moments. There's an episode 10, which is when, it's like the episode 10's the final episode of the, like, Asuka arc, where, Kumiko, like, takes Asuka outside to, like, talk to her about shit, and, she says a really good line there, too, because she's saying, like, everyone wants you to come back, you know, I don't want you to regret this and stuff. And Asuka's like, do you think people would really tell you, like, their true feelings, Kumiko? Like, you sit on the fucking sidelines and you watch shit happen, and you never give your full opinion because you're too afraid of hurting people and too afraid of being hurt. Like, do you really think people are gonna talk to you about shit? And she says this whole big thing, and she's, like, walking away, and Kumiko's like, okay, fine, I don't care about any of that shit. I want to play with you. I want to hear you play the Euphonium more. And Asuka says, stop being such a child. And Kumiko says, no, you stop acting like an adult. You're a high schooler just like the rest of us. And it's just like, fuck. Like, so many good scenes happen in season 2. And I'm just like, I wanted to show you guys all of them, but I couldn't. Heartbreaking. But yeah, no, I love the show. I love that they get bronze. I love that they don't fucking get gold. I think that's, like, a great touch. Just because how often, I don't know, I just feel like normally with a show like this, you're following the story of the people who get gold. But they don't, and that's, like, nice.
You know, you follow failures.
Yeah,
fucking
you follow
failures.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I like the show. It's nice. The characters writing is really good. I love the reveal of, like, fucking Asuka's whole shit. I don't know. Everyone gets really good development. Love it. Love Asuka. I love Asuka. Did you guys know that? I fucking love Asuka.
I am starting to think that Spooky may actually like Asuka.
Yeah. I know, shocking.
I don't
right?
think so.
Worst character.
I know why
character.
you might think that, Gam, but I don't think that's true.
Yeah. No, best character is Knuckle, obviously.
Knuckle's best character.
Can't
I
believe
mean,
Knuckle
sometimes he slips
graduated.
up, but he's the most realistic character.
Yeah, the background
makes
character
mistakes.
that gets scolded by his teacher and forgets his drumsticks. Fucking idiot Knuckle. But anyway, yeah, I just ranted a lot. What thoughts do you guys have?
None thoughts 87 Banan.
Nice.
Nice.
I actually went back and looked at my score for Hibike, the first one. And I actually gave it the same score. I gave it a 6. 10 out of 10
what score did I give it?
10 out of 10 for Knuckle, though. But I did give it a 6
I thought you gave
again.
Hibike season 1 a 7.
At the end of my notes, it
you're
says
the one who's
6.
written them down, Spooky.
Huh?
You're the one who's written them down, Spooky.
I don't have them written down right now.
Well, okay.
Because I lost the file on my old computer, so whenever I get that back, I'm just going to go through and re-listen to all of them and write them down again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No.
Because I don't remember what mine was.
I'm pretty sure that I thought Deer gave it a 7, and I thought Gamb gave it like a 4 or something.
Okay, well, I can tell you right now that I put the score of whatever at the end of my notes, and it does say 6. So
interesting. Okay.
You might have written 6 but said 7.
Yeah,
like, changed your mind
maybe.
as you said it.
But 10 out of 10 for Knuckle.
Anyway. Yeah, Knuckle's great. Thoughts, Gamb?
Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
This is really hard for me to score because I wouldn't. It's really good, but I wouldn't watch it. But if Spooky was like, hey, we're gonna watch all of Hibike today, I'd be like, yeah, sure, fuck it, let's just watch all of it. That'll be good. But, like, I don't want to go out of my way to watch it.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I don't really have that big of an interest in it, but I know it's good, and I know a lot of... Because I think part of the problem, and I realized part of how I knew it was really good was that when we started watching the first episode this week, half of the episode and half of the time, we had to spend catching up. Because it's like, okay, all of these threads are coming in from different parts of the season. We have no idea what's going on. We have to try and catch up. It's like, things are actually happening. And the things that do happen feel like they have consequence to them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm always a fan of. It's not, I love him, he loves me, but he can't be with me because he's got to go to this place. So we're breaking up and oh no. But we'll be together forever. Like it's like there's no real consequences there. So I don't know. I don't want to, be all asterisky because like that is hard to fucking say anyway. But I'd say I watching the second season does make me retroactively appreciate the first season more.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It's almost like one big season. Like it's separated into
That's
two,
the way it kind of
but
feels.
It's definitely like one big thing.
Yeah, that's the way it kind of felt like watching the end of this season. I'm like, it doesn't feel like this is a different season. It feels like it's more a continuation.
Yes.
Of like
it picks
like,
up.
And this is what it's actually been building up to.
Yeah, the beginning of season 2 like picks up at the end of season 1. Like it's literally right through it. Like
it's more like a part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Netflix season 2, which is just the second half of the
Exactly.
block. Yeah. So I think I'd give it more of a... I'd say 8. I'd say an 8.
Alright.
I probably wouldn't go out on my own. If I had absolutely nothing else to do, I wouldn't be like, I guess I'll watch Hibike. I'll be like, well, I've got nothing else to do. Let's watch it. But I wouldn't go like, oh man, I've got to make some time to watch Hibike.
Right.
I think I mainly give it that because, like, I am surprised myself how much by the end of it I was like, actually, you know what? I do like this.
Yeah.
But I still don't love it, but I like it, and I would be willing to watch the rest of it. So basically what I'm saying is, Spooky, add this to the list of shit that we're going to watch when I come over someday.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to come over for like 3 months because we've got to watch a whole heap of shit.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just... Listen, it's fine. I'll just win the lottery or some shit easy to do. And then I'll just pay for your living expenses and everything for a while, and it'll be great.
We'll do nothing but just watch anime for 3 months straight.
We'll connect a fucking tube or something to us to eat, so we don't have to stop. Anyway, sorry, dear, what were you saying?
Well, I was gonna say, I guess I could help fund it, but I guess Spooky's funding it, sure.
Yeah, I'll just, like I said,
Spooky's
easy,
rich.
I'll just
In this
win
scenario,
the lottery.
Spooky's rich.
Yeah, I don't play the lottery, but I'll win it. I'll find a ticket, and it'll be like, in a movie where I find a ticket and it just happens to be the winning one. That's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I love the show. It's definitely, I said this in the last podcast, and I'll say it again this podcast. It's a show that definitely gets hurt significantly by only being able to pick 3 episodes. Like other shows,
it definitely does.
Yeah, every show does to an extent, but a show like Hibike that's mostly about the character writing, not the plot. I mean, the characters have their own plots, right? But it's all just here's development of each character. And how they interact with other characters, and why they're acting like this, or why they're doing this, or whatever. it's like, if you don't have the context for that, it's just like, okay, sure, this character's doing things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely like, a show like this gets hurt significantly more than a show like, I don't know, Another, which sucks already, but it's just like plot heavy. Or like, I'm trying to think of a show that I like that we watched, and like Flip Flappers, I think is a good example. Where it's like Flip Flappers, it's like, there's this overarching like story, and there is, like each episode like kind of has its own thing going on. And that's like not hurt nearly as much.
Flip Flappers the one with the KKK?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember Flip Flappers now.
Yeah, and it's like something like that, or like even Violet Evergarden, which is a lot about Violet's development as a character. It also has its own individual stories, right? And it's like, those get hurt significantly less, whereas Hibike is like this giant, like super connected thing with all of these characters that you're supposed to like know and understand, and it's like, okay, haha, let's pick episodes. So I'm glad that with these, that your opinion changed on them. I was hoping it would. I tried to pick episodes, well, like episode 9 was like obviously like a very heavy Asuka episode, where it was like, I think it explained a lot of her character in one episode.
I think it definitely helped following in season 2, picking episodes that really made that final scene land.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I was picking episodes, I was like, I know for a fact I want to show the final scene, which is why I had to cut episode 11. Because I guess episode 11 is a good standalone episode, but it has nothing to do with Asuka. And it's like, I want to show you guys that final scene, because I love that scene so fucking much. So, like, how do I do it? And then it was like, I knew I wanted to show Asuka-related things already, because she's my favorite character. So I was like, okay, how about we do, like, 9, because whatever. And then, like, I wanted to show their national performance. So it just kind of all fell into place there.
Is it weird that I felt upset that I didn't even get to hear, like, a split second of their performance?
Yeah, like I said, earlier in the season, you get the middle, performance, because there's 3 total. And in middle
I have a recording of it.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, here we go.
This is their performance.
Yeah. But in that middle performance, fucking hell. In that middle performance, it's literally like, here's 8 minutes of just their performance. Like, so you get the whole fucking thing from beginning to end. Which that has a really good moment while they're playing. Because before they go on, Mizore and Nozomi, who are the 2 characters that the first half of the season, like, focuses on really hard, they had, like, a whole thing, and then they, like, made up or whatever. That's, like, their whole thing, whatever. Mizore tells Nozomi backstage, like, I'm gonna play my solo for you, because she has an oboe solo. And then Reina tells Kumiko, I'm gonna play my solo for you. And Kumiko's like, oh, shouldn't you play it for Taki-sensei? And then Reina's like, if I do that, it'll end up a hot and steamy ballad, and that would not fit the theme. So they go out and they start playing, and it shows Mizore, and it cuts to Nozomi backstage, and then it shows Reina doing her solo, and it cuts to a shot of Kumiko, and then it shows Asuka playing, and it just kind of cuts to the girls backstage, and you're kind of like, it's really cool because Asuka is playing for someone, but you don't know that yet, and you don't know who yet. Which in the second Hibike movie, because there's 3 movies, the first 2 are just summaries, though, of the first 2 seasons. When it does that scene, they change the performance to be at Nationals instead of at the middle one. And when they do that scene, it shows Asuka playing, and then it cuts to where the judges are. So it's like, fuck. It's good shit. Love it. Love it here. So yeah, it's like an implied thing in the series, and then once you know that, because the movies actually changed the series significantly to be more about Asuka, I guess. I haven't actually seen them, but from what I know, which is interesting.
Why not?
But anyway.
Why haven't you seen them?
Because they're just summaries of the series. I've watched a lot of the extra scenes, but I just haven't watched the movies as a whole. I have seen the third movie,
I'm disappointed
though. The third movie is the actual sequel. I watched that this past weekend. And obviously,
man, you really just lined up a hype of emotional anime movies to watch, huh?
Yeah, and then obviously I watched. I've seen Liz and the Bluebird, which is technically a sequel, but it's a side story sequel focusing on Mizure and Nozomi. So, which we'll watch that on podcast together soon.
One day,
soon in the near future. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad that you guys get to listen to me ramble about Hibike. I love the show. It's my favorite thing KyoAni's ever done, which is a big thing to say, I think.
what else have they done?
Violet Evergarden. They did Haruhi Suzumiya, which we haven't seen. They did K-On! I don't know. KyoAni's done a shit ton, and Hibike is my favorite series that they've done.
They're 2 for 3 then, for me then.
Yeah.
Even though K-On! Was not that bad, it's
Yeah,
probably
K-On's
the best.
just cute girls doing cute things, yeah.
It's probably the best of that genre that I've watched.
Yeah,
but
they also
still,
did
it's
like
still
Nishijo,
fucking-
which I haven't finished yet. I love Nishijo so far, though. They've done a lot. We haven't watched like most of the shit on the podcast. I'm trying to think if there's anything other than those 3 that we've seen on podcasts, and I think it's just those 3. I'm pretty sure I've only shown you
Okay.
Violet Evergarden, K-On! And now Hibike. So, yeah.
That's fair.
But yeah, neat. I don't know what we'll watch next, but
Futurama.
yeah, Futurama. That's it. We got it.
One day we'll actually do it.
Yeah, we'll watch
Maybe.
all of Futurama, not just 3 episodes, the entire series. Let's go.
All what, 7? How many seasons is it? I actually don't know.
I have no idea. I've never actually watched Futurama
Like
ever.
7? Wait, what? Seriously?
Yeah, I've never seen a single episode of
Oh
Futurama.
fuck! Okay, we actually are gonna watch Futurama. now. Add that to the list of shit that we're watching together. Spooky.
Okay, will do. Alright, everyone. We'll see you next time when I get
Bye.
to dweeb again. Bye.
See you in the next episode. Bye bye.